And what I'd like to talk about today is our early harvest. So we had a 90-day early harvest from our breeding material at the Montcalm Research Center. And what we have is a lot of lines from our breeding program that are being tested in trials here. And what we've done is we've put them in a plot specially designed to harvest them at 90 days so we can get a look at their early bulking potential. And so we have two categories here. We have our chip stock and then our table stock. And so let's talk about those two market classes separately here. Our check varieties are Atlantic, Snowden, and Frito-Lay 1879. And the data that we got this year is telling us that these had quite good yield potential at 90 days. And this season we also had high solids. So it sets a good standard for us to look at our material. And what we have is about 10 lines from our program, the top 10 from this observational 90-day early harvest that are kind of standing out as having the chip quality, the high solids, and the yield potential. And so we have a number of these here. Some of them have been tested a number of times. Others are new lines. Manistee, M246B, R127-2, N190, and Q086 are some of our advanced breeding lines that we know have promise and are moving through the commercialization track, being tested in larger blocks here in Michigan and other places. We also have some newer lines. The S934-4, last year was the first time we looked at it, saw some good yield potential in our late harvest, and it's also showing some yield potential in our early harvest. A new line we have three new lines that are standing out. One of them is W509, and that's a cross between our variety Kalkaska and a variety Marcy from New York. And so we like the qualities that we see here, the good shape, the good yield potential, and hopefully some scab resistance that we'll learn about from our scab plots on the farm. And then we have some two newer lines, the QS MSU lines, that are actually from a North Central regional experiment that we've done with our breeders at Minnesota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin. So these are two selections that have come out of that work. So a lot of promising material to compete against our check varieties here in Michigan. On the table side of the market, Reba and Onaway are our check varieties, and the data is showing us again that we had good yield potential in these lines. So we had other lines, 10 other lines that are table stock that we're looking at showing promise here in Michigan. And the Q176 has been tested on some commercial acreage, and then we have some newer lines that are coming down the pipe. What's interesting about some of this material is that some of these have late blight resistant parents, and so we're hoping that the late blight resistance is being transferred, and those trials are at the Clarksville Research Center. In addition, what we have are some specialty potatoes, ones with some skin pigmentation, and one is a Sport of Michigan Purple, and then we have two new ones, the W239 and the S576. So we're quite excited about that. This new one, the W239, what's really nice about it is it looks like it has a good skin set actually, even at 90 days. And then lastly, we have a yellow flesh variety M288-2Y, which we've been testing on commercial farms already. So there's a lot of promising material. It's our first look for the season, and in September we'll get into our full season harvest and see how these perform, and we'll be reporting on those at the winter meetings.